The latest sinking of a Russian cargo ship, the Ursa Major, in the Mediterranean serves as yet another grim metaphor for the state of Russia's maritime and aviation industries under the crushing weight of sanctions. While two crew members are still tragically missing, the broader implication of such incidents ripple far beyond the human cost. This is an environmental danger unfolding before our eyes and of our own making, with the sinking ship leaking oil and toxins into the fragile marine ecosystem, and this is not an isolated event, far from it. In the Black Sea, just a week or so ago, an aging Russian tanker broke in half during a storm, spilling thousands of tons of heavy fuel oil into the waters, fouling tens of kilometres of coastline. Two more vessels ran aground or issued distress signals in the same storm, and these decrepit ships are part of Russia's shadow fleet. Over 1,000 rusting, uninsured tankers dodging sanctions to smuggle oil and sustain a war economy. And this clandestine operation is a ticking environmental time bomb. Marine disasters like these are no accident. They are the direct result of Russia's reckless reliance on obsolete vessels to bypass sanctions. These ships, many of them 50 years old, should have been decommissioned decades ago. Instead, they crisscross stormy waters overloaded with crude oil, their traffic location systems conveniently switched off. The result? Spills that devastate marine life and poison coastal communities. And the crisis doesn't end at sea. On land and in the skies, sanctions are grounding Russia's aviation industry. The Sukhoi superjet fire in Turkey, a result of an aging aircraft and a shortage of essential parts, signals what could come next. Planes quite literally falling out of the sky. Russian airlines are cannibalizing grounded aircraft for spare parts, while newer models remain grounded for lack of maintenance. The environmental toll of these sanction-dodging desperados is staggering. These disasters not only ravage ecosystems, but they divert critical resources away from addressing the human costs of war. Cleanup operations are expensive, ineffective, and ultimately futile against the long-term damage inflicted by toxic spills and polluted coastlines, and the international community should act decisively. Ukraine has already called for stringent sanctions on Russia's shadow fleet, including bans on these vessels entering territorial waters or transshipping oil. Greenpeace has underscored the dire risks of further spills, warning that storms and outdated ships make future disasters statistically inevitable. And yet sanctions are not without consequence for Russia itself. The sinking of ships and collapsing infrastructure reflect the financial and operational strain that sanctions are imposing. However, the environmental price paid by the global community is a cruel irony. Sanctions designed to cripple a war machine are inadvertently enabling ecological warfare on our oceans, skies, and coasts, and causing irreparable damage. If sanctions remain in place, and they must, though I think they were wrong in the first place, then enforcement needs to target environmental violations as stringently as financial misconduct. So we need to get into a negotiation to see if these sanctions can be lifted at any point. We need to be talking to Russia. Shadow fleets, meanwhile, must be exposed, their insurance voided, their access to international ports revoked and policed. To do nothing is to watch our marine ecosystems drown in oil and our skies darken with the smoke of collapsing industries. The Ursa Major may have sunk, but its wreckage tells a story of a state desperate to sustain an unwinnable war. No matter how many Oreshniks Putin, the Pangeroptic Putin, throws at Ukraine, no matter how many, because he's threatened a big bombing campaign this evening, Christmas Eve. It really is the malice of Scrooge, and it's a shocking manifestation of evil. Unless we act, the next headlines will not only be of ships sinking and oil spilling, but of skies raining debris from unmaintained aircraft.